I'm Ron Amlin from the St. Louis Small Business Monthly, and we're here today at the St. Louis Business Expo talking with Armour's Moncure, who gave a fantastic keynote address at our Top Young Entrepreneurs Luncheon today. Thank you very much for that.
My pleasure.
I know that the audience really enjoyed it. And today, Armour's, you talked a lot about passion and getting your employees engaged. Tell me a little more about some mistakes you see businesses make or some things businesses can do better when it comes to engaging their employees.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, employee engagement, it's a newer industry, if you will. And so it's really a buzzword for many companies. And so the first step is to really get informed on what is engagement and how is it a difference maker. And so that's the first challenge is just being informed about it. The second step is really understanding the difference that engaged employees make as opposed to not engaged employees. And so once we get our hand and our head around the data to understand that if I, as an employee, am playing to my strengths and I can really connect with the work that I do, then I'm going to give more effort. I'm going to put more of me in it. Conversely, or maybe I should say simultaneously, the company gets more out of it.
Sure.
So it impacts the work environment, it impacts my experience. If I interact with customers, it impacts the customers. And the research has shown that it has a financial impact as well.
But it's tough for business owners to get to that point, though, is it not? I mean,
it is a challenge. And I think one of the keys, in fact, one of the things I talked about today, people have to really know how to engage their employees, and a lot of people don't know how to do that. And so one of the keys, I believe, is helping the employees understand what their strengths are. Understand that, just because I majored in this particular thing doesn't necessarily mean that that's what gets me going. And so Marcus Buckingham wrote in his book, Now Discover Your Strengths, that we're wired to just naturally be good at certain things. And if we can identify those things and then align our work with what we're naturally good at, what begins to happen, Ron, is our work now energizes us. And so it's not something that I'm giving and it's strenuous. It's actually I become energized from it, and then there's a ripple effect.
Sure. Now you're speaking all over the country on this topic, but you're also doing some other speaking. And tell me about the other things that Armour's has going on.
Sure. My main mode is really helping individuals and helping companies integrate this notion of passion into their work and engaging employees. The consulting firm, Cook Ross, that I'm a vice president of, actually does change management for organizations, diversity and inclusion training, and also cultural competency. And so I connected with them to be able to bring the employee engagement piece to their particular organization, because they've been doing this 20 years and their client list is really long. And so there's a lot of upside to be able to bring this work to that particular client list. In fact, tomorrow I'll be presenting at the NCAA in Indianapolis. It's just an example of the level that they play on.
Now you seem to have a lot of passion in what you do.
Tell
me about your background and how you got involved in what you're doing now and how you kind of found that. Because it seems like you've kind of found your sweet spot.
I have. My background primarily has been various types of business development and various types of training roles. Generally, different levels of responsibility in those roles. And one of the things that I noticed, I happen to be a student of a lot of personal development and self-development work. And one of the themes that I would notice in listening to different people speak is that it's something to be said for really being able to do the work that you love. However, I never saw myself being able to do that. So what I did is I went for the money. What I did is I went for the money and I said if I could at least get into something that offered a certain amount of specialization, and then I can find out how we do it differently, then I can become passionate about that.
Right.
And so that was step one for me, is how to become passionate, especially in a sales or business development role, how to become passionate about the service I offer, about the product I offer.
Right.
And so from there, and I had success being that way. And then from there, as I was listening to these tapes, because I'm in a car so much and I got tapes in the car and I'm listening. And so we call it the mobile library, right? And so from there, what I began to say is, well, Armour, you're having success and you're not really following your passion. What would happen if you figured out your passion? And my friend, in early 2010, everything aligned for me to really learn that speaking and training, consulting and coaching,
Sure.
and also being a published author is what I'm passionate about. And then everything aligned for me to actually go do that. And so that's what I do now. I do what I love.
Yeah, well, that's great. And it's amazing how your day is different when you do what you love.
No doubt, it really is. And so now I want people to be able to experience this. One of the things I didn't share with the audience today is that the majority of heart attacks happen on Monday mornings between 8 and 9 a.m.
Very true, right.
And one of the reasons for that is we don't like Mondays. And we don't like Mondays because of the lack of connection we feel, the way we feel, not appreciated and not paid enough.
Right.
And we just don't make the connection between what we naturally do and what we do. The majority of the country is like that. So one of my missions is to help turn that stat upside down. 8 out of 10 Americans don't like what they do. And it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
So a part of my mission is to help educate, help inform, and help to bring transformation to individuals as well as organizations.
Fantastic. In closing, if folks want to get in touch with you or your company, what's the best way to do it?
Sure. CookRoss.com. That's COOKROSS.com. You can reach me personally at ArmorsMoncure.com. My email, thepassionexpert@gmail.com. And phone number 314-503-5172.
Fantastic. Thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
you.